Water. Governance knowledge. Data scholarship.
These kids.
The mystery hand.
The mystery hand.
Chris Carter. Somewhere.
They had to add this somewhere. Is there anybody, the sweet, loving woman like mine? Is there anybody with a sweet, loving woman like mine? My baby, she's all right. My baby is clean outside, don't you know? Don't ever work with me. If you're... I'll start singing. When I'm banging stuff with the freaking 19 ounce. You never know. I got some fences to finish, and I've got a video for you guys with putting up barbed wire fences and stuff. I think I'll give you guys a little hip pocket on some stuff that, and I thought about, you know, kind of doing a quick glimpse of how to cut glass and glass cutting. Something else that I've been playing around with lately is cutting glass, and I thought it was kind of fun, and I wanted to share because that's what I do. Now, this video is supposed to be about all your eggs in one basket. Sorry, I'm playing with a hammer while I talk. It's supposed to be about keeping all your eggs, you know, not keeping all your eggs in one basket. And I always love these little Russian accent things. I always do these little Russian accents. I have friend. I always do. I'm around the house, you know, me and the wife are goofing off, you know. She's the only help I got, you know, when it comes to, you know, doing 2x4s, you know, cutting wood and stuff, and driving nails. And she's usually drinking coffee the whole time, watching me work. But I usually just get to rambling on about, you know, silly stuff. You know, I have friend. He says, you know, no, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. You know, we're building another project for something else. It usually involves, you know, two. We usually end up with two of the same thing. You know, when we're building something, why make one if you're just going to make two? Just go ahead and make two. It's a backup. What if something happens to that when it breaks? And that's usually the case. And the second one might turn out better than the first one. That's usually the case for me. The second one always turns out better. And it's like, I have friend. That's usually how my little conversations always. He said, you look like a strong boy. AK-47's for you, you know. I'm going to get demonetized already. I'm already talking crazy. He said, what was the other one I was saying the other day that was cracking me up? He says, never apologize for a mistake. It make you look stupid thinking apology could fix mistake or something. Anyway, I know I'm being a dork. All your eggs in one basket kind of thing. Back on the topic at hand. All the, you know, you see, if you look at history, I'm not going to quote years and stuff, but if you look at history and history can repeat itself. It has a bad habit of repeating itself, and especially if you don't know much about history, and you could find yourself involved with things like that. And I know a lot of folks out there have probably not that actually are in our community, but you know, folks that are in these groups, these organizations that you know are destroying cities, right, and rioting and all that sort of stuff. Okay, if you look at it, you know, the Nazis defunded the police, and I've said this before in little comments. You know, the Nazis defunded the police. They defunded the police to make room for the brown shirts, the Gestapo. And what are we seeing right now is, I don't see protesters and stuff. Peaceful protest, you know, it's like fire everywhere. Everything's burning to the ground. And, you know, people are getting tormented and beaten and kicked in the face and stuff. And That's not a peaceful protest. It really made me sick. It was, every time I watch these TV news, this news station stuff where they're saying, oh, well, he's, the protesters and it shows them like trying to jab a freaking Antifa flag through the front windshield of their car. And you're like, that doesn't look peaceful to me. What is wrong with the world today? It's confusing. Everyone's just, I don't know. They don't understand what actual peaceful protest looks like. That is not peaceful. And blocking the roadways where, first responders can't even get to a 911 call or something like that. That's not a peaceful protest. You still have to make way for stuff like that. You can't just stop everything like that. And defunding the police is generally just going to make things worse. And, a lot of folks are, the gun sales are going through the roof. And I'm adding my 2 cents to this because I don't know how many folks out there have made videos discussing this topic, but the gun sales going through the roof and stuff. And it's not, you see the shelves dwindling with, ammo isn't just restocking on the shelves, and, you can't just go order ammo anymore for certain things. And there's a reason for that. Think about all the folks out there that are buying firearms for the first time, and they're buying their ammo for the first time. And you've got to think about it like that. And the reason why they're buying their guns and ammo, the possibility of living in a place without anyone to respond when you dial 911. You dial 911, we're sorry, you've defunded the police, so there's no one coming to rescue you. If you think about that, well, how are you going to defend yourself now? You're going to have to defend yourself, or your friends and family are going to have to back you up on that. And this also goes to a little conversation I'm having while I'm going down the road, because I like to have conversations with Sippy about these weird things that bother me. Look, it's like this, okay? I watched another video the other day. It was just scrolling through my feed on Twitter, and it showed it was like a Prius or something, okay? It was like a black Prius or something. He had a dog in the back or something, but they're just beating the crap out of the car. They're terrorizing the people that are in the car, or the person in the car, and just they're putting dents all in his car, breaking his window out, and all this other stuff. Why? And here's the thing. You ever notice it's usually the people that are getting messed with, or the ones that are not fighting back, are usually the ones that are getting messed with. And like I told Sippy, I said, that's the reason why, when I joined the military, I was a strong, able person and I could handle myself. So I decided to put myself to good use and join the military and help fight for folks that couldn't fight for themselves. And it was the main reason why I did that. And that's the main reason why a lot of folks go into law enforcement. That's the main reason why a lot of folks become EMTs and paramedics and nurses and doctors. And they do these things because of the people who can't do them. And they said, well, this seems to be the job for me. This seems to be what I can handle doing. And this is what, I can do to pay my part to fellow man and help other folks, in their lives, that kind of in that way, right? But still, have some sort of paycheck to count for it, right? Because you still got to have money to feed your own family, to feed yourself, and things like that. Have a roof over your head. So you got to have a little bit of money. I'm still playing with my hammer. I like my hammer. And I said, I saw this video of this person with their dog and everything in their car. I said, Sippy, I think about this all the time, and it's, there are styles that are not for me. There are things that are not for me. I prefer a large breed dog, or, not a dog at all. I might not even be a dog. I might actually be a cat person. I could choose that. It could be a cat person. The animal's not fitting this, but just follow me on this. It's not that, if I go and buy a Prius, right? You know what I mean? Too many people stereotype these folks as like these, weak, fragile thing. But I don't picture, it's like, if, for example, targeting people you think are weak, and then there's that. That's one of the things that bothers me, is targeting people you think are weak. And then that's the people that they target. That's the people that they target, people that they think are weak, because they have a freaking, what is it? Emotional support pet or whatever, right? It doesn't matter, any of that stuff. It does not matter. It's my point to my wife was that these folks that they're attacking can't defend themselves. And that there's a lot of folks out there that can't, they can't see themselves getting violent. They don't see it. There's not a violent bone in their body. They have no intensity whatsoever. They might get mad and throw a coffee cup. That's about it. So does that make them less of a human being because they don't have any intensity in their body? They can't fight or whatever it is. If you are that person, don't get offended by what I'm saying. I'm just telling you that there are folks that they're not meant to do that. That's just not in their nature. But, people are walking by and seeing, other violent people just taking advantage of that and, beating the crap out of their car, smashing their stuff, kicking their dog, shoots their dog or whatever the case, right? They see that sort of thing taking place, and they didn't ask for that, right? They didn't ask. It's not that many, you know what I mean? There's not that many folks out there that are in that situation, but there are folks out there in that situation. Like I told the wife, I said, not all these folks can defend themselves like that. And so there's a reason why there is, cops, cops. If you made a phone call and you don't support bullying. And I remember they went on a long kick for a long time where we don't support bullying. You're not supposed to bully people. And so well, there you go. Now you've got your glorified cities and that is what the Gestapo did. And this Gestapo, their main objective was to target and destroy and beat up and maim and terrorize everyone to the point, a breaking point of fear, where they're just afraid to get out of their car. They're afraid to go to the grocery store. They're afraid to live their lives. You know what I mean? That was their main objective, was for that. And if back the point of that is, my wife says they should start shooting people. They should defend themselves. They need to fight back. People need to rise up, and you can't just sit there in your car. I said, babe, not everybody has intensity like that. Not everyone has, there are people who buy guns and are afraid to use them on somebody. Someone just broke into someone's home and, they've got a Glock 9mm sitting right there, but they can't squeeze the trigger. That happens all the time because it's not for everybody. You want to protect yourself, just buy a gun. It doesn't help everyone because not everyone has the same, the makeup. Doesn't have the same makeup as others. You got to remember that. Not everyone's the same. And everyone's just slightly different. And anyways, I digress. From what I want to talk about. I just wanted to get that off my chest because it was bugging me. And if you see somebody in a situation like that, I would strongly recommend to help the individual, or do what you can, put a stop to it if you can. But I know it's hard to fight a mob, and definitely back to my other topic here was not keeping all your eggs in one basket. This goes back to all the different bug out bags I've made over the years. And I plan on doing another one, and I hope that you guys can enjoy or will enjoy this. I'm going to be putting together a few other kits along the way, and that goes with as I've got. I don't keep all of my eggs in one basket, and I know there's other folks out there that have covered this topic before. That also goes with having a different location to go to, a BOL, a bug out location. That being said. You got to get that terminology right. Oh, what BOL? What's a BOL? If you have a BOL or something like that, you want to have, spare food in that location, spare ammo, spare guns, blah, 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 spare everything, gas, batteries, diesel, all that stuff. All the things that you're going to need at that location. That's just ridiculous number of things that an individual technically needs to keep the machine for your household running, Some folks like me, I use baling wire on everything. If you use baling wire on everything and you run out of baling wire, then, you're out of baling wire. What do you do now? And it goes for zip ties and all the other things that you're going to run out of. I know I've done little videos on stuff like that. Duct tape, screws, nails. It goes on and on and on. Lumber. The price of lumber has gone up. Has anyone watched? I know I have. People thought I was crazy when I said something about it. I said, I've been building all year long and throughout the pandemic thing. And a friend of mine told me, get ready for it. Stocks are going crazy, especially in involving lumber. And I'm like, what? And I was like, what does that mean? And then sure enough, it hit home. Usually I go to Lowe's, I pay $250 for a 2x4, 8 foot. 8 foot. It's 7 something, whatever. I know someone's going to correct me. It's like tick, tick, tick. This is the actual size of it. And I'm like, whatever, dude. Tomato. Okay. But anyways, a 2x4, 8 footer, 2x4 used to be like $2.50 or something. Now it's like $6.95. I think it went up. It might be $7.02 now or $7.05. One 2x4. Oh man, dang! That's crazy. I mean, because you could have gotten 3 for that price. You know what I mean? Now it's ridiculous. It's crazy. You could have gotten 3 for that price. Even just your 1x2s and stuff. Like for steaks, for tomatoes and stuff. I was just curious. I'm just walking around pricing lumber and deck. Oh man, for you folks out there rebuilding decks, I feel sorry for y'all. It's like it's a pandemic going on right now. I'm bored out of my mind. I think I'm just going to go to Lowe's and grab some deck boards. I'm going to go ahead and just do that deck. Oh, no, you don't. Girlfriend. You ain't building no deck today. You look at it's like the board was normally $7. Now it's $17. What happened? That's like normal size. I mean, it's just like, that's the smallest size. It's like $17. It's ridiculous. It's crazy. You ain't building no decks. Unless you're rich. You gotta have extra money for that stuff. But that goes back to my keeping all your eggs, don't keep all your eggs in one basket. That's why we prep. I know it sounds crazy, the eggs in one basket thing, but I was keeping extra spare wood all the time in 2 different places, actually. I keep it in 2 different places. I don't even keep it all locally where I'm at. I keep it all out that way and stuff. I can't tell you. I can't give you my coordinates. I don't want you knowing where I am. All right, but goes to the archery stuff. I just want to show you guys real quick. Let me grab it. I know I was going to do a quick rundown. Hopefully you're still alive with it. All your eggs in one basket. 3 repair kits and change outs for broadheads. 3 containers. 3 separate and are fairly stacked with arrows in the event something happens. 3 bows, and that's in the event we need 3. We have more than 3 bows, but I'm just sort of putting this together as this here. I'm out here, but I have another set of takedown arrows, and I have 2 other folding bows. And yeah, I didn't have to do all that because I think most folks that have kept up with the channel long enough know that I have some crazy stuff. But you got to go through this stuff too. This is more stuff that you should do because everyone says, oh, I'm going to bug out. Well, with everyone buying all the ammo up, what other means do you have when it reaches that point? When, you know what I'm saying? Save your ammo, you know, you still have hunting to do. There's still plenty of other things to do. You should probably make sure this is squared away. Just saying. Something like that to organize those broadheads and get them where you need them. And there you go. That's all the broadheads I shoved in there. And this is the flat blades. And same little setup. Just a condensed version of this. This has got more. And I just went with something so I never have to worry. There'll be 3 different locations. Plus I have one stashed here of something a little bit more advanced than this craziness. But it's just an idea for those of you that are stashing stuff around. So, you know, one in your truck, one in your car, one down the road. You know what I mean? You have different sets. So you're never without. I've been putting this stuff together for a while. I've got this one here, you know. That's a repair kit that's attached to that. It's an old knife sheath, but it's a repair kit. It has new or replacement nocks, replacement bowstring, and replacement broadheads. Whole variety of broadheads in there. And there's that one. Then I did, this one has a little bit more loaded into it. And then I went ahead and did this one. And it's just an extra. So I ended up with 3 of those. And I was sharing with folks arrows. And so what do you mean you're out of bullets? Right? What do you mean you're out of bullets? There's still bullets. Those are arrows, bruh. It's like, yeah, they're arrows. Not just arrows, but are those bolts? Bolts? Yep. Got bolts. Bolts and arrows. I'll try not to go on, you know, about all the random stuff that I've collected, but, you know, having like 6 bows, right? 6 different bows, and then having multiple crossbows. Over time, you can accumulate that stuff, but you got to put money aside for it. You can't just, I've been saying that stuff for years. It's like the ammo reloading thing. Everybody just now getting into reloading now because of the ammo stuff. Well, heck, most of the reloading supplies are gone. Most of it's gone. Most places I've been to so far, they're just about out of everything. And heaven forbid you try to find powder right now and in it stuff. You better have gotten it long before. See, when I was into reloading, I was doing that stuff back before. This also goes in this topic, just so you know. But I was doing this stuff long before, and I started accumulating different powders for different stuff, from rifle, pistol, shotgun, all these different things. I was accumulating that stuff, and I was putting them in airtight locked containers. You know, I started just, you know, building them up. And bullets, you know, I'd find a deal or special on bullets or whatever. Back before there was craziness, and it's just something that we've always done. And it wasn't during a pandemic. It wasn't an Obama scare. It wasn't any, you know, because everybody, you know, we all jump through hoops of fire, and there's knee-jerk reactions all the time. They're gonna ban guns. Oh, you guys remember like you can't carry a pistol in Walmart, blah, 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 that ordeal. You know, all these different scares, you know, that have happened over the years. It just goes on and on. They're never going to end. And I just took light of the situation earlier, you know, years ago, and just started like, well, in case it ever happens again, I'm just going to go ahead and start doing this. And I started buying cases of primers and stuff. And well, there's small, there's large Magnum, there's 20, well, you got your 209s and all that stuff. It's a mess. I mean, number 35, what are those? You've got, you know what I mean? You've got a whole mess of components you've got to keep up with. Just get them out of the way early. But I think we're beyond that point now, to be honest. I think a lot of folks out there realize this is it. And if you've got extra, I would say share. You're going to have to do some sharing if it gets too bad. you're going to have to share. And, you know, if you got a neighbor or somebody that's got your back, but they ain't got nothing to protect you with, then you need to make sure that you help them out with that too. This is just my way of doing things. Some folks would be like, no, keep it all to yourself. Why help them? Well, you know, Bob and Jim and all these other people are not going to be able to help you if they have no means to help you, right? You know, they might not have handled some of this stuff in years, but still, Bob, Jim, and everybody else around you are going to need help helping you. And for me, Bob, Jim, and everybody else, they're all farmers and they grow food. You know what I mean? We all got to help each other. And, you know, all these different people have different tasks in their lives. And community, I guess it goes back to community. But like I said, 3 of these, if you've got just one thing made, you're good. You've got one. But the problem is that too many people, it's like a bug out bag. And how many vehicles do you have? Which one are you going to be in? Do you have something to get you home in your other vehicle? I'm going to take this vehicle today. Oh, it's got nothing in it. Oh, wait, we need to fix that. Something needs to be in there. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what spare knife do I have? Do I have an extra axe laying around here? You know, you could build a kit out of practically nothing. Have I got any? What makes fire? Let's see. You can figure it out. Hey, Bic lighter will start a fire all day. Just saying. You could build an emergency kit quick. Dollar store candles. I mean, I know the price of things are going up drastically over time, but it's cheaper than making candles. I'm just saying. You know, dollar store candles are pricey, but it's way cheaper than making them. Y'all ever price that stuff? This stuff's expensive. I'm going to make beeswax candles today. No, I'm not. That's too much. Can't afford it. Some pretty funny stuff, though. But it's just like with food. Now we've got so many eggs we don't know what to do with, and we're having... if you've got spring chickens, I guarantee you they are laying eggs like it's crazy. They're just spitting them out. Our chickens are... It's like a freaking carton of eggs a day, man. It's crazy. I was like, all right, we're having breakfast for dinner now. So now it's babe, you need to start baking, make cakes, make lots of cakes. Oh man, start making some biscuits, do everything. All right, use them eggs up. That's all right. Incubation process. That's the other thing. You could do the incubation process for that and start making meat birds. I know none of this makes any sense to some folks out there, but you could just start doing meat birds if that's the case. Start incubating them, and then next year you'll have meat birds instead of eating eggs. You can have chicken, right? But multiple grow sites, multiple, you know, you've got to space this stuff out though. It's like where I keep my thought process on knives, flashlights, all that stuff. In the event that something happens, I do storage caches, and I've mentioned that before. I mean, earlier in the year, I knew something was coming, and I said, it's coming. It's coming. It's going to be crazy. There's too many people talking trash. I just know it's coming. And sure enough, I'd already buried a bunch of caches. Now I'm getting ready to bury some more caches just cause. And because we don't know what's coming, but it goes back to the folks that had their weapons confiscated for pointing weapons at protesters, right? They made Christmas cards, apparently. And it was, everybody stirred up about it. Either they're happy. I know the president invited them to the White House and a bunch of other stuff. But anyways, that couple, it goes back to that. It's like they had their weapons confiscated. But that's the reason why I tell people you need to have two. If someone confiscates that weapon, right, you're unarmed. You just left those folks unarmed, you know, without weapons. Well, what do you do in that case? Well, prepare for being unarmed. At some point, if well, we're going to take these away from you because we know what's best for you. You're just going to have to use sticks and rocks. And oh damn, you go grab your other rifle. Right? You've got a stash. You know, you should have a stash. This prepper community out there, you survivalists out there, you should have a cache. You should have a replacement rifle, replacement ammo, replacement gun parts, replacement everything. You should have a replacement for that replacement. But that's just my take on that. I just wanted to share with you guys my 2 cents. I know I don't get on here and run my suck too often, but I figured I'd get on here and just talk for a little bit. I was in the middle of finishing another knife sheath over here, and I got confused in the middle of it and decided I would text the individual to find out that's exactly what they wanted before I got too lost in the sauce and started making something that they really don't like. I was like, you sure you want this? Because I don't think it's looking right. But anyway. All right. I guess that's all I got. God bless you guys. Think about it. Think about what you have already and think about where you have it. And try to put it in other places, not just in one spot. Well, that's where we keep all the food. You know what I mean? Just think about that for a minute and say, whoa, wait a minute. If there's a fire or if there's this or we have to evacuate, wouldn't I want something else, you know, if you have a shed or anything like that? Other options. That's just other options for putting your stuff somewhere else in case something happens in that one spot, ruins all that stuff. Well, what are we left with? Well, dang it, we got nothing. So if you did it that way, you would see what I'm talking about. But hopefully some of this first stuff that I've mentioned does something and helps you guys out. Think about it. There are, my woes is I do have an individual copycatting my work. I guess he's taking, it's not copycatting my work because he really isn't doing any work. He's somebody out there like in Italy or something. It's like taking pictures from projects I've made here, you know, with my toolbox in the background and everything. They're taking pictures of stuff that I make. And anyway, see what I mean? Taking pictures of that stuff and they're posting it somewhere else, saying that they can make it, and you just give them money, taking your money and not making it. Anyway, just throwing it out there. Just be careful. There's a lot of frauds out there, so be aware. All right, that's all I got. God bless you guys. Take care.